A lot of opposition to Marji'iyah stems from the belief that Ijtihad is being practiced in a traditional, outdated method. One of the reactions to this is to call for a new collective Ijtihad model to be put in place. Now this argument against Ijtihad might hold weight if our Maraja were sitting at a desk alone somewhere, reading book after book, making notes and issuing fatwas from there. This may make for an aesthetically appealing visual of scholarly life, but it is far, far from the reality of the matter. No ruling is issued in a vacuum. The Maraja not only employ the rigorous sciences of the study and methodology of deriving rulings, as we have already seen in past videos, they also seek out the opinions of various experts in whatever topic they need to address. For example, when it comes to the sighting of the moon, Ayatollah Sistani not only takes Yallop's scientific criteria into consideration, but is also sponsoring an astronomy research centre in Qom to carry out independent study on the matter.
Any problem or challenge that they are presented with, they would first try to understand the nature of that problem. Many cases are such that conventional, customary, ordinary information about how people live their lives would be sufficient to enable them to understand the nature of the problem. Then they refer to the Quran, to the Hadith and the other principles to be able to derive the law of God. Sometimes the nature of the problems becomes difficult, so they need to refer to the experts in that particular field to be able to guide them. In order to deal with modern day challenges, the Mujtahid would need to make a deeper study of the scientific nature of the problem. So a question was asked from Hazrat Ayatollah Sistani, Hafidhahullah, about the permissibility of the change of the gender, an operation to change the sex of the individual. Hazrat Ayatollah did not respond by just saying yes or no. He goes into considerable detail into the medical aspect of the change. So he talks about whether the medical change that is going to take place is just the removal of the external sex organs of, let's say, a male, and then it is replaced by something that resembles the external genitalia of a female, and then they're injected with hormones, either masculinizing hormones or feminizing hormones, depending on the nature of the change that is required. And he says, well, in actual fact, this is just an external change. You haven't changed the gender. The actual gender of the individual is determined by the internal organs. And besides, there's another problem in that to look at the private parts of an individual is not permissible. But of course, under certain exceptional circumstances of necessity, it may be permissible. But even if it were permissible, it does not actually change the gender of the individual. If an operation can be done whereby not only the external genitalia are changed of the individual, but also the internal genitalia, then yes, this could be considered a gender change. But then he says medical technology has not yet reached that level of sophistication to be able to accomplish that. That the Mujtahids, they're the top brilliant minds of the Shia world, and that's what qualifies them to become the marja. And they're intelligent enough to be able to investigate, to inquire, to contact and to consult with the experts in the field, understand the nature of the problem, and then go back to the Quran and to the Hadith and to the principles of deduction and come up with God's law.
Naturally, one knows that Ayatollah al-Sistani has not studied medicine as a profession, but rather that he has referred to and considered the opinions of medical professionals in the process of coming to a conclusive ruling. In this way, one may say that the practice of a collective ijtihad already exists, in the sense that there is always a collaboration between the maraja and various experts in different areas of human sciences. The second idea presented of collective ijtihad is one defined as a collective marja'iyya platform in which people take from one supreme fatwa council rather than one specific marja' taqlid. The idea has been presented and spoken about by various scholars. The challenge is that while the idea exists and is being discussed, there is no framework or structure as to how it would work in practice.
The proposal for making a council of different mujtahids and with consultation amongst themselves to then be able to produce one single unified fatwa on different controversial issues on which there is differences of opinion. This proposal has been discussed since the second half of the 20th century amongst some of the Hausa scholars. But the challenge is that the majority of the maraji still are of the opinion that amongst the mujtahids there are those who become a'lam and the most learned and the top experts in the field.
Considering that Ijtihad and Taqlid are an institution based on centuries worth of information, it will naturally take some time to work out whether having a council is practical and how to exactly ensure that such a body would still be able to remain true to the methods taught by the Ahlul Bayt. Ayatollah Nasir Maqaram Shirazi has actually published a book in which he suggests the creations of a crescent sighting council, together with possible ideas on how to deal with differences of opinions. For more inspiring content, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on Facebook and Instagram.